So hello everybody, welcome back. I hope that you like this series. You might want to watch it from the beginning. This series is about news, but this one I make it in terms of information that is relevant for your surroundings. And so grab your coffee and enjoy. And if you wanted to share a coffee with me, links for that down below. Or if you wanted to take a look at the books that I have written, also links for that down below. And now we are going to move forward. So this one is, it's a lot of news. So this one is about, I tried to organize the information in terms of revolutionary things and things that are kind of like a setup of a lot of things. And they are also kind of like settings of a lot of things. So I just wanted to open up with a little bit of a background history here. I just wanted to ask, did you know that the first TV program that was, actually aired, by the way, at this time, remember, it's a new technology. TV is a new technology, so it doesn't have regulations, it doesn't have particular audiences or marketing or anything. It's just people, sending images and thinking about the amazement that represents. So the first TV program was actually called Ghost TV. Oh yeah, it's Ghost TV. And basically, it was 15-minute period in which there were pictures of people that were dead and things like that, and or pictures of murders, and it was about sort of like interviews of those kind of stories. So it was called a ghost, because they were supposed to be talking to a ghost. It's sort of like how you died and all of these things. I can tell you right now, not for kids, but that one was the first one. And there are images of this that are very hard to find, if you are able to find one. But the reason for this is because I wanted to mention that the first thing that we get, we can send images to each other. And the very first thing that people thought about sharing to each other was ghost stories. That tells you something about how important it is and how fascinated people are in terms of death and in terms of ghost and the paranormal and, the whole thing about evil people and other things like that. I mean, if you think about it, if this is the first time that you are creating a new technology and you wanted to improve the world, why will you do something like that as the first program that you can possibly have? Why will you send images of murder and ghosts and other things to people the first time ever? Why don't you send stuff that is related to, I don't know, fashion or good news about science or stuff like that? Yeah, that tells you something. The people that developed the TV had on their heads the idea of spreading that kind of content. So that should tell you where things go with technology that is new. As in, the new things that go with cash or internet or whatever it is. Because if the first thing that you want to do with a technology is improving the world, but then you are doing something that is actually the opposite of that, then, you have a very big incoherences right there, right off the bat. So, and by the way, there have been so many weird news about the TVs that, oh my God, it's bad. But then again, you know, everybody has TVs and everybody has internet and everybody has certain things. So not a lot that can be done about that one. The only thing that we can do is try to get back to the root of the things, which is, why did we create the TV in the first place? What's the point about sending images? Yes, but why? What? Okay, maybe some people were kind of like, because we can. But that was not the point. You should not be thinking about just doing something just because you can. And then the second part is, okay, we want to do it because we want to improve the world. Okay, so prove it. How exactly are you going to improve the world with the new technology that you're creating, other than, you know, making money and spreading fear and things like that? So that is a food for thought thing. Now, moving on. So next one. We have something called Commonwealth, which is 14 states. Within these 14 states, we have Australia, Canada, New Zealand, Jamaica, Belize, Bahamas, etc. And they are all linked to England and to the monarchy that rules the United Kingdom or the UK and all of these things. And I think that this is going to become a very big issue to maintain, since the political, political nightmares that are being developed in each one of these states. And each state or country is trying to find its own path. And in Australia right now, there is a lot of riots and there is a lot of people that are trying to cut ties with the monarchy, and they are trying to be independent and things like that. So it is a movement. It's going to take a while. I do not know how that one will turn out, but not a lot of people is talking about that. So in the political arena, every time that you have a new leader, the new leader will face a lot of challenges. And between those challenges might be the idea that maybe some of the kids that you already have, you need to let them go. But others you might need to keep, and you do not know why or whatever. And I do not know what they are going to do about it. But, you know, the whole scenario in terms of politicians being connected to each other and being connected to their people. I mean, you have entire countries that have people that do not want necessarily to belong to the monarchy of England. So, like I said, I do not know how this one is going to play out, but it's happening. So if you happen to be in that particular group, then I suggest that you understand both sides of the argument, as in why you want to stay in the Commonwealth or why you want to leave the Commonwealth. Especially because the British pound, as in the money from England, will play a huge role in terms of protecting your wealth in case that the US dollar actually collapses, or vice versa. So don't forget that politics is always related to economies, because people associate money with the trust that you can have in the people behind it. So this one is going to play a huge role in terms of your economy, and in terms of your job, and in terms of international trading, and in terms of basically how far behind you will be left if you decided to leave, or how far ahead you can get if you were on your own. But regardless of the decision, it will have to be a united decision within your country or state. And this, it sometimes can lead to a lot of internet nightmares. So beware about that one. So speaking about riots, then we have Haiti, which is having riots all over, because despite the fact that they have a lot of gold in their land, because they do have gold in their land, my God, they have like, it's sort of like a small, very tiny part of Venezuela right there. You have a lot of gold and a lot of things that are, you basically kind of dig a little bit and then you will find gold in Haiti, and yet they are starving. So that should tell you that it's never about money. It's about you learning how to do trading and how to do proper things. In fact, in Haiti, there was somebody from Africa. There was this lady that she was trying to make people understand that Europe is rich, but Africa is poor, despite the fact that Africa is a place that has all the minerals, all the diamonds, all the gold, and everything, and yet Africa is poor. Why? And then there is a lot of mismatch right there, and that is because in trading, most people will settle for short term, as in trying to make money and then leave. But long-term trading might actually benefit both sides, but it's not being done like that, and it is insane. So Haiti is having problems in terms of food, and in terms of not just the food that they are buying, but the food that they are producing, and in terms of everybody trying to abandon the farms so that they can go into other things that will make money, like mining and others. And so they are also damaging the environment and things like that. So it's insane. Because people will go where the fashion thing goes, and this is very bad. I think that if this thing spreads all over, you see, in Venezuela, that did not happen because people did not have time. We skipped the part about being angry, and we just figure how to do things. And right now, this is why we have huge black markets in which 3 out of 10 products that we have, 3 will be provided by the black market. 7 will be provided by the normal people. And out of those 7, 6 are imported. Only 1 is being produced here. So you can imagine, it's 10% we are producing ourselves. The other 90% is either imported or black market thing. So very, very, very bad. Especially because you have a huge percentage. 3 out of, actually they said 35, so 3.5 out of 10 or something like that. But it's bad. They will have that issue. And on top of that, they are dealing with anger. Venezuelans do not deal with anger. We just go and transform anger into sarcasm. And then we laugh the hell out of things, and then we move on. Because what are you going to do? You can't change the world. You just have to try to roll with it. And a lot of countries and a lot of people will have to learn how to do this, unless you want to die in the freaking riots, or you want to spend the little energy that you have fighting a demon that you will never be able to even see. So, I don't know. That will depend upon your culture, your place. So then there was a tweet that predicted the death of the queen, and then he also predicted one of the death for the king in the next in line. But you see, a lot of people were saying that this account was on target and a lot of other things, but I saw the account, and their account, by the way, the account does not exist. I do not know if they removed it or it was blocked, deleted, whatever happened, it's no longer there. But what people don't tell you is that that particular account wanted to promote a time travel series, okay? So basically, whoever started that tweet actually was doing a series about time travel, so is it real or not? A lot of people say it's conspiracy theories, but other people say it's not. So, yeah, like I said, reality, one thing that we cannot even imagine. And I do mean reality is something that we cannot even imagine. And then our imaginations, we think is real, and no, our imagination is severely limited compared to reality. So it's the whole thing, we will probably never know. But this was one of the topics that I wanted to mention. And so in case that you're wondering if that thing was, for making money or maybe like a fortune teller thing or whatever, no, that series and that account was promoting a time travel series that the person was making. Now, then Brussels is prepared to intervene in prices and regulation due to the crisis that started because of the energy problems, etc. So I told you in the last video that they're going to produce a 4-hour power outage management on a daily basis. Yeah, that happened here. And then the second part is that they are also saying that they are going to interfere in the pricing, and they already have a list. Yeah, if you're in Brussels, I suggest you get that list and get everything from that freaking list. If you need it, freaking get it in the amount that you can get. I do not care if you have to max out your credit cards, because here is what's going to happen. Every single item that you have in that list will disappear. And now you will have to find it in the black market, and if you want it, you will have to pay huge prices, and then you will have to deal with counterfeited items, and then you will have to deal with items that are not regulated, and then you will have to deal with everything that we have been dealing with in Venezuela. And quite frankly, we do not have to deal with a lot of issues that you in Europe have to deal with, like more regulations, a system that actually works in terms of being, surveillance through security cameras and internet and things like that. But all of that will go, will go down the drain as soon as you have the power outages. And then you will have criminals, because I'm guessing that they will have these by schedules, and like this happened here in my country. And if you have it by schedule, then during those 4 hours, whatever criminals are doing, they will transform, they will move the base of operations according to where the power outages is, and then you will have a lot of issues to be, worry about. And the first one is going to be finding any of one of those items if it is a list. So if you are in that position and the government actually, promotes its list or whatever, I have to tell you that some of those items will disappear for up to 9 months. 9 months. 9 months for you to find toilet paper or rice or oil or whatever. And when they do get it for some reason, you might need to pay, and you might need to fight for it, meaning I have a reproduction list on making lines, so you might need to face tear gas, and then, like I said, and this is going to be way worse because of winter time for you, which will make things even worse. And fuel problems are going to be, your main concern if you were in Europe. So I'm going to make a video about a couple of things that you can buy to try to mitigate these issues. But still, if you have that list, take a look at that, because you are not going to find, once the government says, okay, we're done, I give you 10 days, maybe 2 weeks for those items to just disappear for God knows how long. Some of those items might come back in 2 or 3 months, and like bread or something like that, they might come back in like 2 or 3 months, but others it will take 9 months to, there was a time in which we spent 11 months without you finding a detergent, laundry detergent. I remember it was a period for 11 months. And conditioner and others, it was insane. You could not find those for nearly a year and a half. And there were some items that I haven't seen in 3 or 4 years straight from that list. So if the government says that you are going to, get a supply for that, and it's going to be guaranteed and all of that, yeah, prepare for those. You're going to have to deal with the black market. And if you do not know anyone who has bad habits, or anyone who is who has a personality that is able to bribe and do a lot of things, then I suggest you either start finding people like that, because otherwise you will not be able to navigate those kind of waters. It's like you being a sun, as in sunny, the sun, as in the sun and the moon. You being the sun, and you wanting to find a way into a labyrinth in which everything is dark and you have to find a shadow. You are not going to find it because you are a sun, meaning you have too much bright energy, and that one will actually, work against you when you're dealing with black markets, counterfeiting, and a lot of other things, and you will be the one that is going to become a target, because in this kind of system, the ones that have that thing are the ones that are a target. So not sure how you're going to be able to handle that, but be prepared the best that you can. Or because at least you're getting a heads up. Now, alligators or crocodiles are dying like crazy in Brazil. They were coming out of the depth, the deepest part of the water, and they started dying all over. And I'm not talking 100 of these things. I'm talking thousands, to the point in which all of the animals might become even, you will think that they will go extinct, and you are seeing the last of them. This is of course freaking everybody out, because what the hell can it be so big that is scaring an animal that is that big and is in the top predator kind of chain? So they are thinking that there is a Godzilla down there or something like that. And quite frankly, I agree. You might not think like that, but there might be some sort of new predator down there in that water, and it might be because there are holes that are being opened all over the planet, and some of them are crossing over to lands that we do not know what they are or what is happening. And this phenomenon is not being properly explained to people in terms of scientific facts and scientific data that prove these things. And because there is a lot of mystery around it, all you have is now conspiracy theories, which of course are not being talked to anyone, and nobody knows. But something is happening with the water that is in this area. And whatever is happening in that water, I can tell you right now that whatever happens here, it will be way worse in other places, because if in here we are seeing that, in other places it's going to be worse, because other places will probably have worse contamination with the water, or there might be other stuff that the environment is not doing the same. As you see in here, meaning this area in the planet, as in Central America or the area that is near the equator, we do not have winters. We do have winter climate in certain places because of the altitude. So there are places in my country that if you go, you will have all year round, you will probably have freezing temperatures, and you will probably even see snow all year round. Or freezing temperatures, like I said, because of the altitude. But if you go down and then you are normal, you are probably never going to see snow. However, we are now seeing a lot of storms in which ice is coming from the sky, and there are a lot of things that are happening that nobody can say what is going on. But the worst part is what is happening beneath, as in the soil that is in the bottom part. And like I said, everybody is thinking that there is a Godzilla down there, because why? It's like, try to imagine these sharks, not whales, sharks, okay? The predators in that area started swimming towards the shore and will rather die at the shore because they are running from something. I have to ask, what do you think can scare a shark? Yeah, so what do you think can scare a crocodile that is not just one? Like I said, thousands of crocodiles were laying right there, and they all ran towards the surface, and they all started dying of heart attacks. So, okay, they all started running from something. So Like I said, we have a bet going on in Venezuela about who are we going to meet first, the aliens, the Godzillas, or the zombies. So I always said that we are going to go with Godzilla or the aliens. The zombies, I really think that, it's going to be the third choice. But there is like a pool, and we're always thinking, okay, I don't think the aliens will come here, quite frankly. I'm guessing that they will, but I'm guessing that they probably will, but they probably will regret it, because as soon as they enter here, there is even a meme, and there is jokes about that saying, I told you not to park the spaceships, it already got stolen, and God knows, and we will have to pay ransom money to try to get the parts of the spaceship to get it back. So, no, and if Godzilla comes around, there is a meme here saying that all the Venezuelans will just take machetes, and then it will cut it into pieces, and then they will eat it. So, whatever happens, and we think that the zombies are the ones that we're probably going to be too freaked out about, because we might have issues with food, but we're not to the point in which we're going to eat the zombies. Although there is a lot of people, weird, crazy people that crap. So yeah, the way that you deal with the apocalypse when you are scared is like you go into survival mode, and then you don't know what people are going to do. All I can tell you is that the more survival mode you are, the stupidest things will happen. And oh my God, it's insane. So the whole situation with the crocodiles are flaming, are fueling this topic about what comes first, Godzilla, the zombies, or the aliens. And apparently Godzilla is in the head of the list. So now we go from there to CEO from JP Morgan, whose name is Jamie Dimon. So he said that there is right there, Jamie Dimon, there is a Ponzi scam thing happening for that JP Morgan. So if you want to know more about Ponzi scams, and you want to know more about this topic, this one actually is on mainstream. So there is a lot of things that CNN has been talking about lately, or at least several mainstream are talking about lately, because they cannot deny it anymore. So I suggest that you either take a look at this and do your own research, and then you make your own decisions, because this one will affect a lot of the economy. And I do mean a lot, because if you are making money because of cryptocurrencies and things like that, and all of a sudden this market collapses and you are bankrupt, you are going to find yourself looking for an entire new market, and maybe you don't know anything about actual life, actual things like you running a store and things like that. Oh my God, that one is going to be a huge impact for a lot of people. So especially people that do not know how to do work and how to do anything. So which is why a lot of people are now selling several books about how to organize yourself, how to run a business, how to do inventory, how to do a lot of things that are actually skills that are important, because they can be applied to real life and they do not depend upon the internet. Now, this one is huge topic, because all of this is tied to the fact that there is no internet, and there won't be any kind of internet in those 4-hour power outages and stuff in certain areas. And then you need to understand how things work, because if you don't, then you need to find somebody that does know. And I suggest you start by Latin people that actually have been in Latin countries and they fled towards Europe or something like that, because they will probably be able to understand a lot of things. And they might be able to take a look at things in a way that will make you feel a little bit more secure or more safe. And it's not like you are going to be, but at least in your head you will be. Because most people, if they are Latin, they probably do not care. and they will probably find a way to make things go. Anyway, so from that, we also have another called this name, Bridge and Davignon. Yeah, I know I'm pronouncing it very weird there. So Bridge Ann. She's a 12-year-old who, who proved that all the presidents of the United States, except for one, and this was in Obama's administration, up until Obama's, by the way, all of the US presidents were related directly through 22 family branches to the King of England called John Lackland Plantagenet. Oh God. So, King of England, that's his name, John Lackland Plantagenet. Yeah. He ruled from 1199 to 1216, and he happens to be the villain of the stories of Robin Hood stories things. The Robin Hood series, or the Robin Hood legends, or whatever you want to call it. And it was done because he was the king, by the way, at that time. So she proved that the 22 families had presidents that are, for the US. And the only one that wasn't is one, except one, which is Martin Van Buren. Cool. So, if you want to know more about this genealogy thing, because quite frankly, I'm assuming that you could say that it's because politics runs in the family or runs in your blood. It's sort of like you have a father who is a lawyer, and then you're a lawyer, and stuff like that. Maybe these people have politics in their blood or something like that. But there is a lot of conspiracy theories about this topic, and now this is also playing a role into what happened to that president that was not into this genealogy thing, and what was different about him and things like that, which makes a very good point about story and history. So this is a very interesting topic for a lot of people, and the relationships is just one of those things that it's food for thought kind of thing. Now we are going to go towards marketing for men. So we are going to talk about the things that are being trendy, and they are being fashionable, and they are being promoted to kind of sink men, as in you want men to just kind of, I don't know, be destroyed or something. So there are silicone babies that are being sold for men, so that men can put it in there, so that they can simulate the idea of having an actual baby like women. So kind of like you having a partum through the silicone baby that you insert yourself into there. And then I'm sort of thinking, okay, so I wonder what the hell can go wrong with that. So I'm guessing that, like I said, there is a lot of people that are making money out of the most simple and stupidest thing, and they are making millions. They are making thousands and millions of dollars by degrading men and by degrading women, and by basically pushing you to think that nothing matters and nothing is important, and that if you want to have an experience, it doesn't matter anything. You can just get in there and have it your way, because you can defy nature and you can defy whatever your God believe in, if you don't even believe in God or whatever. So this is going out of control, because this is going to affect the economy. Because if you are not spending money in the things that are actually important, like your own education, things that are important like your family, things that are important like paying your bills, I mean, come on, you have more than half of the people, and I do mean that, more than half of the people that are 70 or more cannot retire because they have no money and they actually are in debt, and yet people are spending their money into silicone babies so that you can put it in your behind, because you want to know what it's like to have a partum, and you want to be in pain, and you want to deliver a baby that will be full of poop or things like that. So that you have money for that, but you don't have money for retirement. So see what I'm saying? So if you have kids right now, or you have elderly in your family, sit down with them and get your finances straight, because otherwise all of the money that you are making, you're going to have to spend it helping your family who became idiotic, and they are spending the money into things like that. Cool. This is so cool. Great. So moving forward, we have also a doctor. I suggest you look it up, especially if you have pets. My God, I swear to God, if there is, I have mentioned it before, if there are 5 people that you need to support in the worldwide, I have mentioned a woman before, and then I mentioned another person and I forgot, but I have mentioned 2 or 3. This will be one of the other 5. This man, John Robb, he's a veterinarian. Now, the reason for this is because he has statistics and he has proof that your pets are dying, and they are dying because of the improper regulation for all the jobs that are meant for your dog and for your cat and for your horse or for whatever animal you have. And basically what is happening with humans and this thing is also happening to animals, but way worse, because your animal will be, animals do not live as long as humans do, and they are if your animal dies, for a lot of people that is an emotional impact that is way worse than having people from your family dying, because sometimes your emotional connection is way harder with your pets. And this guy is begging for people to please look at the numbers that he has. Is really, really bad. He needs support, he needs help, he needs to be heard, he needs a lot of things. And if he doesn't have them, your life, your dog's life is on the line, your cat's life is on the line, your pet's life is on the line. And not only that, but I have mentioned before that there is a corporation, Hydra corporation thing. They are even making this traceable, which means that your pet is going to become a slave and it's going to be the property of those companies. And it is even being mentioned in the new law that they are passing in the United States. And also they are passing these laws in Europe. So yeah, good luck with you and your pet, because now it's no longer your pet. And by the way, in China they did this. In China they took all of the pets, and as soon as somebody says, oh, there is someone who was positive for the thing, the 19-bit thing, in the building, so we are taking all of the pets and we're putting them down, because pets are, you know, an issue. So if you want your pet to disappear or let it out so that it doesn't get captured or whatever, now it's being traced and all of that. So you might not, you know, you might have other things to worry about if this guy is not, you know, able to complete his mission. If he's not able to complete this, I can guarantee you that the emotional state in the entire planet is not going to even be fear. It's going to be total apathy, which means that the suicide is not going to be even half of the people. It's going to be around 60 to 70%. So that guy, he's in the front line. We gotta support him somehow. And anyway, speaking of the thing, now there is new publications in terms of the articles on normal regular media, sort of speak, that they say that if you're going to get the shot, you need, and you're a woman, you need to have it on certain days, because otherwise it will affect your period, and if it affects your period, it's because of you, and it's not because of the content of this thing. It's because you chose the wrong date to do this thing. So I am guessing that there is a lot of menstrual issues with women. And not only that, but they are covering up through the fact that you want to have this on a particular date, which it just, this information is very confusing. So what they're saying is that you need to look at your period, and then from the date of your period and things like that is when you are supposed to know when to have the shot or not. And that one, if you want to know more, you can do your own research. I'm sure that you will find it. But that information is confusing because it does not make scientific sense or logical sense, okay? So, but again, do your own research. And now we are moving towards Denmark, in which drinks are now being marketed with sex images. As in, you know, you get a soda, you want to buy a soda into a supermarket, and the soda will have a condom or penis or a, you know, female thing. And then it's not even funny because they are selling fries that will have a taste of, you know, female parts. And it's like, what? Are you so desperate to sell your own drink to children and to kids, saying that it tastes like a penis? I mean, come on. And these are drinks that are meant for teens, and meant for adults, and meant for even kids, because they are not alcohol, they are just drinks. So really, are we so desperate to sell those things that we have to associate those with you drinking a female part or a male part, or even from a freaking condom? I don't want to know. Quite frankly, I don't want to be in Europe. Like I said, I would rather be in my country, but if I was in Europe, my God, I think I will probably be finding a way out, because that place is fighting Muslims. They are fighting politicians that are going crazy. They are fighting the new laws that will put your place into Venezuela or way worse. And on top of that, you are also fighting people that are giving the right to kids to, drink from a can that has a condom that is used in the package. What does that mean? Does that mean that the next thing that they're going to do is use a condom and then try to drink from the freaking condom? I mean, no, really. I just think that this is so like... I think that if we wanted the world to go into a better place, then we should probably be doing it definitely the way that we are not doing it right now. Definitely not that way. We should go the other way. If we are going left, we need to turn right. If we were going down, we need to go up. If we are going up, we need to go down, because quite frankly, it's like we need to go into the opposite direction. And I think that all of this is happening in Europe because they have way more contamination in terms of the certain elements in their bodies and stuff that is going crazy. And in the US, they also have issues because of their bodies. You see, all of humans are being chemically induced into a de-evolution, meaning we are trying to go backwards. Instead of evolving into something better, we are evolving into something worse. And all of that is happening because of the chemicals that we have inside our bodies, partially. So if you want to avoid all of that, then I suggest you go and research the guy named Wim Hof. My God, that one might be the only way out for a lot of people. And last but not least, Switzerland will have people jailed if they use the heaters for more than 19 degrees Celsius for their rooms because of the problems that they are facing in terms of energy and in terms of climate changing. So regular people that follow the law will be put to jail, but rich people will not have any kind of problem. And the climate change does not apply to those that have private jets or a lot of other issues. And I am assuming that soon you will not be able to travel within Europe because of the fuel problems and because of the plane problems and because of the pilot problems and because of other regulations kind of problems. So if you were thinking that you could leave, you're probably going to have to use another method. So you're probably going to have to figure out how Venezuelans are doing it, because maybe you will be doing the same. And I hope to God that you don't, because quite frankly, it's not the same conditions. It's not the same conditions in terms of luck, in terms of mentally, you're not the same. And also in terms of the weather and the environment is entirely different. And so, the regulations are also very different. So culturally, you're not the same. So figure out what is going on in your particular country about what the politicians are doing, and figure out how to do your escape route in case that you need to escape your country because of the winter time. Because you see, in the United States, for example, if you were in New York and you don't want to be there in winter because you hate winter, then you can take a plane and go to Florida. And you are within the same country, so you are fine. And a lot of people spend their summers into places that are warmer. This is done by birds and done by animals all over, and this is done by humans for a very long time. So now you are going to face winter very soon. The question is, what are you going to do about it? Do you want to be in that particular place that you are in, or would you like to go to a warmer place? Because if that is your case, you know that you're not the only one, and there will be a lot of people that will be trying to do this, and then there will be a lot of people that will be stopped because politicians are not going to allow it, because a lot of people will be fleeing. And that's something that politicians do not handle very well. So again, if you have plans, you might need to have plan A, B, and C, and D. In terms of the winter, in terms of the energy crisis, in terms of the shortages, and in terms of helping your family, because all of the teens and all of the adults and certain elderly are being misled, and they are all going down because no one is telling you that you have to invest in yourself for finances. That's why I told you it's an emotional topic. It's not about how smart you are, because I'm very smart and yet I have issues in terms of handling money and things like that, which is why I created the paycheck to paycheck thing, and I'm telling you all of the things that might go wrong or whatever. So try to figure out a way in which you can become a little bit stable, and try to make people understand that they need to invest in themselves, because it's not the same you trying to support 8 people than 8 people trying to support everybody. It's a team. So what if you're thinking of prepping only for yourself, then I suggest you stop, because other people will be way worse, and then it will affect you one way or another one, especially because you might be prepping but your family is probably not. And so the whole thing, it needs to be into consideration, because the politicians do not have your back on this one. And the few politicians that do have your back, they are retiring. They have said it themselves, and even the doctors that do have your back, and the ones that are speaking out for the truth and all of these things, they are trying to retire because they can't handle all of the issues that are happening. This is too much. This is a lot. And that is why you want to just breathe and learn how to let it go, and then roll with it. So good luck.